welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video, and welcome to a video where I talk about all of the books that I have soft DNF'd over the years and just need to go back to. They're sitting on my shelves, they're ready for me to read. I have started them and put them down for one reason or another, and I just need extra motivation to, see them here in all their glory, and hopefully it'll motivate me to pick them back up and finish them and finally get them off of my TBR. So it's very simple. I'm just going to go through each book, kind of let you know how far I got into them, why I put them down, if there was a level of disinterest or I just had other things come up, and then maybe I can do a vlog where I read some of these and motivate myself to fix the issue, because having them stacked all right here is glaringly obvious that I might have a slight problem with picking things up and then deciding to put them down for one reason or another. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first one I want to talk about, I am very conflicted about because I love this author. She's one of my favorite authors of all time. I just don't like the series, and so I'm not surprised I put this book down. I just don't know why I did. Be Mine Forever by Kennedy Ryan. I don't know if this is the last book in the series or the second to last book in the series, but I know for a fact that I started it at some point and then just never finished. Do I know why? No, I don't. I wish that I could tell you. I don't even know how far in I got. There's no bookmark in here. I know I was reading this for the Rom-Com Swoonathon for 2025. I remember getting a pretty good chunk of the way through, and I just don't know. I don't know why I put it down. I don't know if I just ran out of time or if I decided to prioritize other things, but I have literally not thought about it since. So I don't know what that says about the book or me, but I have always been pretty dead set on reading all of Kennedy Ryan's backlist. So this is definitely one that I need to read, and I have very few left. So you would think that I would be on top of this, but alas, here we are. Up next, we have Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas, the third book? Yes, third book in the Devil's Night? My God, it's like my brain doesn't want to work. I think that's the series name, by Penelope Douglas. I have read book 1 twice. Didn't love it upon a reread. Read book 2, enjoyed it, and I've heard great things about book 3. But I started it, and I was not convinced. Everyone was saying that this is one of the best redemption stories, that this hero is everything I could have wanted and more, and I was not convinced, even in the slightest, that I liked him that much, And so I was not super enthused about picking this one up, and then when I was reading it, I wasn't overly excited, which makes me so sad because I do have the Mystic Box editions of these ones, and they're gorgeous. I needed a reason to love it, and it didn't give me that in the first, I don't even know how much I read, but I would like to go back to it. I do own the rest of the series in these editions as well, and so I want to give it a fair shot. I want to give it a chance to wow me, but this one, I feel like it's going to take me a while to have the motivation to pick it back up. Okay, this is my last strictly romance pick, and then everything else is fantasy romance or fantasy, and that is Absinthe by Winter Renshaw. I'm pretty sure I got a good chunk of the way through this. Do you remember a single thing about it? Absolutely not. Not a singular thing. But this is another Mystic and or Bell Box special edition, and I just have had very, very hit and miss experiences with the books that they have picked. Some of them I have loved, and others I would like to never think about ever again. So I don't know, I'm very conflicted about whether I want to pick this back up. I've left it on my shelves with every intention of eventually getting back to it, but I feel like this is the one book probably on this list that I would be more than happy to let go of and not think about it twice. But for some reason, I've kept it around. So we shall see if I get back to it. Again, I don't know how far into this one I actually got, but I feel like it was a good chunk of the way through. Why I didn't just fully DNF it, I don't know, but I guess we'll never know until I pick it back up again. Okay, this next one has probably been on this pile of shame the longest, and that is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, the second book in the Mistborn Era 1 series. I still have a bookmark in it. I made it to 346 pages. Some would consider that a whole book, and I just never finished it. I was reading it. I was enjoying it. It's not like I was having a bad time with it. It is definitely adult fantasy. It reads much slower than most of the fantasy books that I tend to pick up, and I think that I was just getting bogged down by all of the politics and the world as a whole, and so I just didn't feel super compelled to pick it back up. But this is one of those that constantly stares at me. I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I need to pick this back up again. And I, for some reason, just don't ever have the actual motivation to pick it up. What the hell? What is taking me so long? But, I mean, it might also be due to the fact that I've read 346 pages of this, and it looks like I still have another 346 pages to go. So, I can see why I haven't picked it back up. I need to, because I would love, love, love to finally get into the Stormlight Archive, because I've heard fantastic things about that series as a whole, but my goal is to finish this one first before I even think about jumping into any of those other books. So this one, I feel like definitely the motivation needs to be given to me, because I feel as though if I don't motivate myself in some fashion, it's never going to get picked up again. Okay, up next we have Bonded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. I picked this book up well before it got picked up traditionally and trad published, and I was not a huge fan of it, if I'm being honest. I am not a big retellings person. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's White Shoes. You would think I would love that because I am a White Shoes lover through and through. I would read White Shoes every day if my TBR didn't require me to read other things. And you know what? I could, but I have so many other books on my TBR. I shouldn't. But I don't know. I just have had no desire to pick this one back up. I didn't dislike it. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't something that was fully compelling enough for me to want to continue. That being said, it's short and the audiobook is short. I don't know. I picked it up and then decided to put it down and have not thought about going back to it since. I feel like this would be a great fall read. And I've heard great things about the rest of the series. Like literally everyone seems to be absolutely loving this book and this series as a whole. I just cannot be compelled to pick it back up again. So please, somebody let me know if this is worth it. If I need to absolutely like put this on my TBR, my immediate TBR, and get to it. Because as a White Shoes lover, you would think that I would love this, but for some reason it just wasn't working for me. Up next, we have one that absolutely makes no sense as to why I put this book down. Mostly because I was really loving it, and that is Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. I was having a smashing good time with this. I got to page 272, like very little left of this book. And I think I put this one down because I picked this up as like a mood read, and then it was like the end of the month, and I got to the end of the month, I did a new TBR tarot, I got distracted by other things, and I just never went back to it, but I was having a great time. I thought that it was dark and twisty and gritty and fun. I really liked the characters, I liked the world building, I was having a great time. Here we are, with less than 100 pages, I think, to go. I just never finished the book. So I feel like this one is one that I am like the most eager to get back to because I'm so close to the end, and I have the audiobook readily available to myself, yet here it sits. Another fantasy romance, surprise, surprise. We have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. Everybody and their mother has talked about this book. So many people love it. I've heard some mixed reviews, but so many people love this book. I picked this up because one day I was like, oh, I'm going to be a physical reading girly, and I'm going to, prove to myself that I can read a physical book without an audiobook. You see where we are? many months later, not having read the book. Yeah. I proved myself wrong in many a way. And it's not that I didn't like it. I read the first 40 pages sitting down with my Kindle, I think. I didn't even read the physical. I sat down and I read 40 pages and I was like, wow, this is really good. Never picked it up again. Never thought about it again. Just languishing on my shelves. So, I do have the audiobook now. I can get back to it anytime. Don't know why I haven't. In fact, I believe Fiction Falls had this as one of their picks for, the Fiction Falls Academy Book Club, and I didn't read it. I don't want to talk about it anymore, honestly. Let's just put this one away, because I feel like this one is my biggest shame. We talked earlier about retellings, and we have The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. Again, I started this one, I think around the same time, actually, as I was reading Bonded by Thorns. This is another Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I was not compelled. I didn't fall in love with it, and I think we all kind of picked this up at the same time, me, Karina, Dana, maybe even Nikki, I'm not really sure, but we had all, like, grabbed it because the cover is absolutely stunning. And we were like, oh, we're gonna buddy read it, and then I started it, and I was like, I don't want to read this. Why didn't I fully DNF it? I don't know. Why is it still sitting on my TBR shelf? I don't know, but I feel like I have to give it another go. Why? The world may never know, honestly. The way that this brain works, I couldn't tell you even if I wanted to, but I have it here, and maybe I should finish it. If anyone's read this and you loved it, please let me know. But if you also read it and you hated it, also let me know, because I don't need any extra excuses to put this in my unhaul pile. You know what I'm saying? Please, I beg. The most recent addition to this list, we have The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. I started it. I got to page 258. A good chunk of the way through, about halfway through the book, and I was reading this during a readathon, and I just wasn't reading it as quickly as I wanted to get through all the books for a week-long readathon, so I did put it down, but I also wasn't super compelled to pick it back up because I found the story to be rather boring. I liked the storytelling. I really enjoyed the way that this is narrated and the decisions that the author is making in regards to storytelling and that aspect of it. I just wasn't super compelled by the plot, and I didn't know where the story was going, and so I didn't feel super obligated to pick it back up again, but I had every intention of putting it down for the readathon and picking it back up at some point, not anytime soon necessarily, but at a point in time where I can sit down and really focus and dedicate my time to reading a book that's like this. I've heard nothing but great things about this book, especially the ending and the continuation of the series, so I have high hopes that when I get back to this one, I'm going to hopefully love it, but it was definitely just not the right time for this book. I have another one that I've got a pretty good chunk of the way through, and that is Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. This is a sci-fi I believe, romance, sci-fi romance. And I was liking it, but I wasn't loving it. It's definitely a very different book than I tend to read. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, and so I feel like that already had a hindrance on the book in and of itself, but I found myself just not super compelled to pick it back up. I think it's another one of those situations where I was reading it upon like a mood reading situation. I was like, oh, let me just give it a try. And then my actual TBR came around and I was like, on the back burner you go, and I haven't thought about it since. So I definitely need to get it back around to it because I would love to see how it ends, but honestly I haven't really heard very many people talk about this book as a whole and or a sequel, if there even is one, so I don't know if it's one that I absolutely have to prioritize. Again, if you've read this, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts, and maybe you'll sway me in one direction or the other. Up next we have The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. This is one that I am so conflicted about because I really enjoyed book one. I felt like it was very pretentious writing and very hard to get through, and definitely was very interesting. But the character work in book one I had so much fun with. I did read a very good chunk of this book. I don't have a bookmark in anymore, but it was a good chunk of the way through, and I don't know, I just wasn't overall compelled by the story. But the thing that gets me the most, even though I gave the first book 4 stars, is the ratings for this book series as you continue. It goes lower and lower, and I believe the rating for book 2 is abysmally low. I can't remember, not book 2, book 3. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I remember I looked at it the other day and I was like, oh, that's bad. Like, that's really bad. So it just makes me less and less excited to pick up the next books in the series, knowing that everyone hated them as the series continued. So again, I need help. Influence or de-influence me to pick this book up, because I'm so disappointed. But I bought all of them in the beautiful Illumicrate special editions, thinking that I was going to absolutely love the series. And alas, here we are. I made it through a good chunk of this book, never picked it back up, and am scared to read the rest of the series. So we shall see. Second to last, we have Sunbringer by Hannah Kaner. Again, no bookmark in here, but I do remember getting a good chunk of the way through, and I did enjoy what I read. I think I put it down just because I wasn't overly compelled by this particular plot story, and I had other things that I wanted to prioritize, and I just didn't get back to it. I also think that at the time of reading it, I was in the middle of a slump, and I wanted to give this book its best chance to be loved, and so I put it down with every intention of picking it back up. But it's been so many months since I've done that. I believe I started this at the beginning of 2025, and it's been languishing away on my shelves with a third book that has already been released that I haven't even thought about. Nor did I get a special edition of it because I never finished the second book in the series. So yeah, I love these covers so much. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I'm obsessed with them. I would love to finish this up. I just haven't thought about it since. So definitely one I want to prioritize. And the last and final book on this list is a chunker, and that is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I picked this up, honestly, pretty quickly after receiving a copy. I actually have 2 copies of this book, one's in storage, but I started it pretty early on because I knew that it was going to be a Goodreads Choice Awards nominee for 2024, and I wanted to be able to say that I read it before the actual nominations came out. Here we are about to have the 2025 nominations coming out in November, and no, I didn't go back to this one. I don't remember how much I read. I think it was close to about 100 pages, and I didn't read anymore. It wasn't bad. I actually was enjoying the writing and something different from Cassandra Clare in an adult world. I was having a good time. I just put it down and then never picked it back up, and here we are. I think I was a little intimidated by the size. I'm trying not to let the size of fantasy books deter me anymore. Is that working? No, it's not. But, I can live in Lululand for a little longer. Please let me. I beg. So definitely let me know if you've read this one. Again, I've heard mixed reviews about this work from her, but I do believe a second book is out, if not coming out very soon. And it's definitely one that I would love to try to read because I don't see myself ever going back to her YA stuff. So I would like to read some of her adult work, but if this one doesn't work, it just doesn't work, and I'm happy to move along to other authors I may enjoy more. Okay, that is everything. That is my entire pile of shame. I wish that it was less, but honestly, it could be more. With as many books as I pick up throughout the year, it could be more, but I just wish that I didn't have these glaring at me all the time, knowing that I have started them and just never got around to finishing them. If I were to include all of the books that I started on my Kindle or via audiobook that I didn't finish, we'd be here for much, much longer. So please, I beg, don't even think about that. Pretend like I didn't say it. But it's definitely a hefty stack. And with all of them being a little chunkier than I would like to admit, it's a scary stack. But if you would like to see a vlog where I sit down and try to read maybe 5 of these books and get them off of my pile of shame, please do let me know. I think that would be so fun, and I would love to bring that to you guys. But that is the end of this video. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Also, feel free to let me know the most recent book that you've picked up and put down and you don't really know why, and whether or not you think you'll go back to it. I would love to hear all of that in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of this video and you don't know anything else to comment, leave a clock emoji or a watch emoji for the amount of time that has passed since I've even thought about picking up most of these books. So that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Baby, turn it down.